Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI, This is the brother YAHAWAHSHI, here with another hopeful edifying lesson to the elect body of YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI. I got the article, right? I'm going to read from business. It says food shortages may be rampant in 2025. Here's why. This has been spoken about, the men that teach the Bible, that telling you through the prophecies and words of YAHAWAHSHI and YAHAWAHSHI that famine is one of the plagues is gonna be going on the earth is famine, which is food shortages, right? And they think because Trump is gonna get him back in office, people think that things gonna get back better, or like the scripture says in Mark the 15th chapter, I think it's the 15th chapter, Luke 21, and Matthew the 24th chapter. This is the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of woes, right? And I'm just make sure if it's in Mark. Might be 13. I'm not sure. I think it's the 13th chapter. Yeah, Mark 13, Salakia. These are the beginning of the sorrows. I'm gonna just read it. Mark 13. Get to I'm gonna just read it. Verse 7. Mark 13 and 7. It says, "And when ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines, food shortages, and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows," right? So these are the beginning of sorrows, meaning this is just the beginning, and it's not going to get better, right? That's what, according to what's written, according to the Bible. That's our faith. That's what we believe. And these things are going to happen, right? So this is just the beginning. And a lot of people are deceived, thinking that things are going to get back to normality. Things going to get back better. But it's not prophesied to get better. It's only prophesied to get worse, right? And famine is one of those plagues that's prophesied that we just read. We just read it out of Mark the 13th chapter, right? Shall be famines, right? This is says food shortages may be rampant in 2025. Here's why. He said the American food supply is one of the most abundant and diverse on earth. But this robust system is not without its challenges. Even in the world's largest economy, consumers will encounter empty shelves in certain grocery departments from time to time, just as anyone who tried to buy Trader Joe's eggs recently, right? Many factors can lead to shortages of one food item or another, and there are several reasons for concerns about potential impacts in the coming years, from the ripple effect of climate change and foodborne illnesses, which is another plague, right? Pestilences, right? It's that foodborne illnesses, to expect changes in the U.S. to expect changes in U.S. immigration and trade policies, like these tariffs that that Trump is going to put on certain countries, right? They said by taking these immigrants away, it's gonna impact the farming industry, right? It's going to have a negative effect on the farming industry. It says although widespread food scarcity is unlikely, shoppers can reasonably expect product shortages across several categories in the new year, 2025. Smaller scale shortages are expected, driven by factors such as outbreaks, climate change, and tightening immigration policy. Right? It says TJ, 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 to Jazz, uh, Bats, however you say that, founder and CEO of digital food safety consultancy, Advanced Teachers to Jazz, however you said, and members of the Institution of Food Technologies. Moreover, Bat tells Eat This that eat this, not that, that due to the expected rise in cost of food will become more inaccessible, worsening the risk of food insecurity in pockets of the country. In 2025, shoppers could notice a lack of fresh produce on the shelves for various reasons. First, some farms depend on migrant labor for picking and packing, right? Workforce may soon be in jeopardy. However, following the recent U.S. presidential election, President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to enact greater restrictions on immigration and, and conduct mass deportations of undocumented immigrants once he takes power in January. If migration policies get tighter to the point where farm workers are harder to find or hire, this could cause a shortage, says Bat Salakia, noting that berries and apples are examples of fresh produce that is heavily reliant on migrant labor. Right? So they taking the migrants that's picking the produce. There's nobody going to be filling those jobs. What I was saying, that I said that earlier. So that's going to bring about contributing to food shortages. Since the scripture said the Lord used little by little, he's doing a little bit of here, a little bit there, to bring about these plagues, man. This is just, a little bit of here, a little bit there. All these little incidences is going to have a big impact on things to come, right? Food, even with the weather, you have inclement weather, no water. Then you got these government regulations that they told these farmers to destroy your crops, and your livestock, what is called, putting your livestock the death. I can't think of the proper term for it. Right now, it's not coming to mind. Euthanize, yeah, euthanize the livestock, meaning just kill off your livestock, destroy your destroy your crops. Then you got droughts, that you can't grow crops. Then you got people not working. Then you got this immigrant situation that may impact the farming industry. There's nobody to pick the produce. So it's a little here, a little there, and it's going to make a major impact, right? It's going to be a major impact. It said climate change is another factor that can lead to food shortages. Extreme weather events like floods and droughts, right, can impact growing and farming regions, which may limit crop yields. For example, droughts could create shortages for intensive foods, weather or water intensive foods like almonds, while extensive rain can cause poor water quality and damage corn and soybean crops, right? So, I was saying a little bit of that. Changes in the U.S. policy, changes in U.S. trade policy could also impact the food supply. President-elect President-elect Trump planned to implement a 25% tariff on all imported goods from Mexico, Canada, and a 10% tariff on Chinese goods could increase grocery prices and make some items difficult to find. See? Inflation, right? Troubles, inflation. The increase in prices, right? Tariffs will have an indirect impact on shortages by making food more expensive, leading to lower demand, leading to lower supply. A uh, cyclical, if I'm pronouncing that right, cyclical effect that could lead to eventual shortages. Bat says, what up? Fish and crustaceans, you're not supposed to eat this. And certain fish, if the fish doesn't have fins and scales, crustaceans are like shrimp, lobster, crab. That's the crustaceans. And if the fish doesn't have fins and scales, you're not supposed to eat it. All right, you're not supposed to eat crustaceans. Yeah, see, an arthropod of the large, mainly aquatic group crustaceans such as crab, lobster, shrimp, and barnacle. See, these things you're not supposed to eat. But the devil, Esau put them on your food on the grocery stores like shelves for you to eat. All animals are not meant to be consumed for food. There's clean animals and there's unclean animals. Clean and unclean. Uh, Fish and crustaceans and vegetable fats and oils are some common items imported to the U.S. from China, according to the economics. According to trading economics, from Mexico, the U.S. commonly imports groceries items like cereal and processed fruits and nuts, while Canada sends cereal, flour, and alcohol products, according to the U.S. Bureau of Industry and Security. Global factors such as Russia's invasion of Ukraine may disrupt food chains um, exacerbates and further exacerbate potential shortages. It can have a domino effect where it creates shortages for foods historically imported from those parts of the world, says Bat. For example, the fertilizer market is facing a shock due to the war in Ukraine, which has an indirect impact on the ability to grow crops in America. Domestically, food recalls and outbreaks can lead to temporary shortages at grocery stores. And there's been a lot of these recalls, due to what? Cat contamination, outbreak illnesses and things like that. There've been a lot of recalls, man. Major. In 2024, foodborne disease outbreaks, including E. coli and Listeria, impact various food items, including organic walnuts, organic carrots, and onions at McDonald's burgers, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control. In fact, the CDC records such infections from E. coli have climbed to nearly 14,000 as of November 2024. See, there's been a lot of recall due to these um, foodborne illnesses, E. coli, and Listeria. You know, experts like Bat are keeping an eye on this. More outbreaks can lead to shortages, primarily due to lack of traceability and transparency. He says, when the source of the contamination cannot be identified quickly, in the interest of protecting public health, regulatory agencies tend to be overly cautious and ask the industry to expand recalls. In turn, these items will be removed from grocery store shelves. Customers are taking note when it comes to price spikes at the grocery store. Fair Trade America says shoppers are concerned about the cost and quality of groceries, specifically when it comes to prices for commodities grown by farmers in tropical regions hit by unpredictable weather patterns. The nonprofit expect American shoppers will pay more for bananas and other produce, herbs and spices, nuts and oil, right? So everything gonna go up, man. Meanwhile, 70% of shoppers are concerned with rising prices at the grocery store, according to the 2024 report from Food Industry Association. With potential shortages ahead, food prices are expected to continue to rise. The latest prediction from the Institute of Grocery Distribution expect food price inflation will increase by nearly 5% in 2025, contributing to an overall 40% increase in just 5 years. Look, groceries done rose 40% in the last 5 years, man. So you're paying 5 years ago, you wasn't as your price almost double, nearly double. It's gonna nearly double from 5 years ago. Your grocery bill is gonna nearly double from 5 years ago, man. So just like I read out of let's go back. Mark 13, man. This is the beginning of sorrows, man. And this inflation, food scarcity, due to various reasons, climate, say climate change. The Lord is causing these things to happen. And Esau on the left hand side, he got the technology to disrupt weather, make tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, and things like that with a HARP program. And the Lord is also doing it to what they call natural occurrences. Immigration policy. There could be nobody to pick the produce from the farms that they're grown on, and food shortages, foodborne illnesses is all leading to a famine, food shortages. And the minute the Lord has been giving this warning out that these things are going to occur, and you see articles, and these people are going to see it for themselves. That we just hope YAHAWAHSHI shall have mercy upon us, Kasayim, upon the men of the Lord, the men that believe is doing this, doing this work. That's the whole reason why we're doing this work, that He have mercy upon us and be with us during these times, man. Because it's only how you want to endure these times is through the mercy and grace of YAHAWAHSHI. So this is Mark 13:7 again. It says, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and you hear that's going on, right? Be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines, food shortages, right? Troubles, inflation, right? Just one example of troubles, many troubles. There shall be famines and troubles, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? So this is just the begin. This is just the beginning, and it's not prophesied to get better, man. Second is I think it's 16. The Lord said He's going to send plagues upon the earth. Second is 16, 17. This is the prophet Ezra's, right? It says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days, right? The days that we're coming into, right? Let me see. I'm going to read that 14. So, Second Ezra 16 and 14 says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out until it consume the foundation of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again, right? Famines is plague. These are plagues, right? Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? So that's what I saying before, that's why Ezra, that's reincarnation. He knows that he will be in these days. He will be alive during these days, right? Reincarnation, right? So like I was saying before, we had to have Yahweh. It's only through the grace and mercy of YAHAWAHSHI that you are going to be enduring. You're going to be, you will endure during these times. Without YAHAWAHSHI, there's no way you're going to endure. You're going to perish during these times. Verse 18, he says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, right? The beginning of famine and the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come, right? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute, right? So these things are sent like it was going in, like in 2019, for example, with all this was going on. With this more or less started, these food shortages, you seen items scarce on the shelves. There was items being scarce and not stocked, and shipments are not. What is these container shipment containers and cargo cargo shipment ships was being just what is idle, or just in the ocean floating around. They wouldn't bringing these items in by these cargo containers, cargo tankers, or whatever they're called, these shipment containers. They wouldn't bring these ships in. They were just sitting out there idle in the middle of the sea, more or less, or on the right outside the coast. They just was sitting out there, not in the middle of the sea, but right outside the coast or something like that. They were just sitting out there. There was a disruption in the global trade. In the global trade market, there was a disruption due to this thing that was out, right? So this was like the Lord sent these scourges for amendment. That amendment is for correction. Scourges is like something to punish you so you can get correct. All right. It says verse 19 says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, right? Verse 21, behold, victuals, which is food. That's what victuals are, food, right? Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? So that's what's coming, man. That's what's coming. The sword, famine, and great confusion. These people gonna be in great, and they're gonna be confused out here, man. Don't know what's going on, what to do. That's what's coming to these people, man. That's what's coming on the earth. All right, that's what's coming on the planet Earth. What the Lord is gonna send on the planet Earth, right? Verse 22: for many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, right? And the other that shall escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So famine. So the Lord been mentioning a lot about famine, and that's what you see here. It says food shortages, right? Food shortages may be rampant in 2025. Here's why, right? So I might just label this lesson here the same thing, right? So I'm gonna go and end it off that. Oh, that edifying to the elect. I want to say call like YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI, Rakakadash. Shalom to the next time, Yahweh, Rathazah, which means Lord willing, and why Baba Ball.